So, earlier in my trip to India, I attempted to make my way up in the mountains of Uttarakhand to visit the Gangotri Glacier. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it there because I was poisoned in Ganganani by some old man's horrible Chinese food. I spent 5 days on the shitter and decided, screw that, I'm going to South India. So I dipped. I went down the mountain as fast as I could and got on a plane and got out of there. Even though I really wanted to see Gangotri, I knew I couldn't make it because it's about a 15 or 16 kilometer round trip trek to the glacier itself from the village of Gangotri. And that is the origin of the Ganges. It is of the main tributary, at least. It is difficult to tell where a river really starts because they move, and there are many places that contribute. So is it technically the highest point or technically the lowest point? But either way, that's besides the point. All along my journey to Gangotri Glacier, I was hoping to see some beautiful villages and some nice places and really experience what the Ganges is before it's poisoned and destroyed by the people of India. Unfortunately, no matter where you are along this magnificent river, or once magnificent river, you see that people don't give a shit about the Ganges River, and they just treat it like their sewer and their personal dumpster, as if millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people don't rely on the blessing that this river really brings. And that has nothing to do with the spiritual blessing. It's the blessing of water for drinking and water for crops. The plains of northern India are the breadbasket that feed 500 million people their rice and their wheat on a daily basis. And each monsoon, the banks of the river Ganges burst its boundaries and bring much needed hydration and nutrients to the crops all over the floodplains. However, it's so damn polluted now with lead, nickel, chromium, various agricultural runoff byproducts, untreated human sewage, and I don't know, anything else you could imagine goes in this river, that the crops of northern India are being poisoned. The soil is being poisoned. And for now, the crops will continue to grow and they'll continue to harvest, but soon, and I hope this doesn't happen, but soon the crops will start to fail because the soil will be too poisoned. And once the soil is too poisoned, it's not like next year, it comes back, it's great. No, it could take decades or hundreds of years to make the soil good again. This is some of the most fertile soil in all the world, feeding people here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. People wouldn't live in India if there was no food. It is one of the most fertile places in all the world. It should be a blessing to be a citizen of India. But unfortunately, it's so mistreated that I feel the fertility loss of the soil of the plains of North India are just inevitable. And that's a very scary thought, because that means famine. And if you know anything about recent history, you know that there was a huge famine in India not long ago, World War II times, in Bengal. At least it's known as the Bengali famine. And millions and millions and millions of people died. But the next famine that hits India will kill hundreds of millions of people, and it will make the Bengali famine look like a skipped lunch at the office. And that's a very, very scary thought. Every day, traveling in India, I see that people don't give a shit about India. Locals, Indians, don't give a shit about India, and it's very sad. And I wish they would, because there's a lot to care about. And if people here actually cared about their country and their neighbors in a way that wasn't about owning their political opponents or the Muslims are the problem. Oh, those Pakistanis are the problem. Look, if you want Pakistan to conquer India, keep poisoning the Ganges. Then y'all, if you will starve to death, and then they can just walk in because it will be free real estate. If you don't want Pakistan to conquer India, then stop treating it like a fucking dumpster and actually respect your home. And then you and your ancestors or your descendants will get to live here for thousands and thousands of years in peace and harmony and goodwill with full plates and full bellies and yeah, it'll be good times. But if you just keep treating it like this, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. Well, I'll see you guys later. Turn the camera off for a bit. Enjoy the breeze. Have a good one. I wish you the best. Bye-bye.